All right, all right, all right. Let's go. We are gonna move into our Los Angeles. Didn't hear the recording sound. What? Thank you. Oh, that's you, my girl. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So for Los Angeles County, for sale properties is down 1.9% over last month as compared to last month, and up 22.9% overall. Okay, so we have more inventory as we've been seeing over the last 7 months, or 8 months. We've been seeing we have more inventory than last year in LA County, currently to the tune of 22.9%. Okay. Sold properties has gone up 5.7% as compared to last month, and down 1% as compared to last year. So we are still trending downward, or we're on that downward trend, yeah, as compared to last year. Now it is 1%. It's been 0.9%. Now it's 1%. So, and actually, I think this one was actually a little bit, I think it was like 1.2% last month. Okay. So I think we're actually getting a little bit better. We made up a little bit of ground, and I'm going to check that hopefully before we hop off. Pendants are down 4.6% as compared to last month, and down 0.2% over last year. Now, I know for a fact the pendants were actually down like 0.4% last month. Okay. So we did absolutely make up some ground, and I'm pretty sure we made up some ground here as well. So that is a good sign, although the article that I'm going to present to you guys today suggests a little bit otherwise. All right, new listings are down 1.7% as compared to last month, and up 11.4% over last year. So we have some fresh inventory on the market to the tune of 11.4%. As compared to last year. That is wonderful. We need the inventory, although buyer demand and buyer participation is lagging a little bit because of the interest rates, right? Because of that, it is lagging a little bit. However, we still need the inventory because according to the numbers, we still are in that seller's market, moving into that normal market. Okay. Average active price is up 0.8% over last month, and down 6.5% over last year. So sellers on average in LA County are asking 6.5% less than they did last year. Okay. However, look at here. They are closing for 6.8% more than they did last year. So are sellers happy in LA County? Yes, they are. Right? They are very happy because their appreciation is about, on average, 6.8%. Now, we all know you got to get hyper local because you got to know exactly what it is in your specific area, right? Because it could be less than this, it could be more than this. Okay. All right. Months of inventory is down 2.6% over last month. We were at 3.8 months of inventory. We're at 3.7 months of inventory. Not a big change. We are up 25.7% as compared to last year. So last year we were at 3.1 months of inventory, currently 3.9 months of inventory. So for those of you who've been talking to me about months of inventory, who are dealing with sellers, right, who got that mind, who are like, no, I should be able to get more for my property and this and that. The reality is they've got more competition, right? So therefore, prices are changing. Things are flattening out. Okay. 3.9 months of inventory means they've got more competition. There's more properties on the market that buyers can choose from, which means that they have to price their property right. Okay. They can't be at the very, very top of the market thinking they can get, over the market. That's not the case anymore. The market is shifting, and we have to shift accordingly. Sellers have to shift their mindset accordingly. All right, average days on market is 5.4% up over last month. We were at 37 days on market. Currently, we're at 39 days on market in the month, and 23.3% increase over last year. So last year we were at 30 days on market, currently 37 days on market. Okay. Sold versus original list price, 3.2% down over last month. Last month we were at 95% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 92% of their list price. And then there's a 1% change over last year. Last year, we were at 98% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 97% of list price. So all this means, you guys, for those of you who are new to this, if you had a house that was $100,000, right? Sellers are receiving $97,000, right? That's what this means. That's 97% of their list price. They were listed at 100,000. They're receiving 97%. That's $97,000. I just wanted to put that in simple math, right? That's the math. They're receiving 97% of their list price. However, we are a great influencer on that number, right? How we price the property, how we advise our clients to price the property, and how we market the property. Now, keep in mind, I get it. Sellers can be unreasonable and they can want the price that they want. Okay. So sometimes you just have to say, you know what, we'll try it at this price. However, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I would like to propose that if it does not sell in the first 2 to 3 weeks, that we put in a price reduction. And you put that right into your listing agreement. Okay. All right, let's go to Orange County. The OC for sale properties is down 5.8% over last month. Okay. And up 24.5% over last year. So again, more inventory came on the market to the tune of 24.5% over last year. Sold properties are down 6.8% as compared to last month, and we're at the end of the month, right? This is as of the 27th of September. So we're at the very end of the month here. We only have a few more days. Now, during the last few days, yes, there is a rush on closing properties. So you can best believe we're going to have more properties close over the next few days because everybody's trying to close by the end of the month. We are also down 1.8% as compared to last year. Okay, so closings are down 1.8% as compared to last year in Orange County. Okay, not a huge deficit, but definitely, I believe this number, I don't think we made up ground. We'll go back really quickly. Pendants are up 3.1% as compared to last month and down 0.7% over last year. Okay, so again, not a huge deficit on solds and pendants as compared to last year. We want it to be in the green, right? We wanted to say that we've got more closings and we've got more pendants than we did last year. However, we are seeing that the market still is slower than we expected. New listing inventory has gone down 18.5% as compared to last month and up 8.6% over last year. So again, that's great. We are seeing that we have fresh inventory on the market to the tune of 8.6% in Orange County. Average active price is down 0.2% as compared to last month and down 6.7% as compared to last year. So sellers in Orange County on average are asking 6.7% less than they did last year, I'm sure in response to the competition they're seeing, to the more inventory they're seeing. They're saying, hey, you know what? I've got to actually price my property accordingly, right? So they're down 6.7%. However, they're receiving or they're selling for, closing for 4% higher than they did last year, which between 4 and 7% is about normal for inventory. I'm sorry, for appreciation across the board, right? Sellers are expected to get between 4 and 7% appreciation on their property year over year, okay, on average. So this is definitely within that range. Months of inventory is up 3.9% as compared to last month. So last month, we were sitting at 2.6 months of inventory, currently 2.7 months of inventory, and up 28.5% as compared to last year. Last year, we were at 2.1 months of inventory, currently 2.7 months of inventory. So as you guys can see, in Orange County, we are still in a what?
In seller's market.
Absolutely. Thank you, Danila. We're in a seller's market, you guys. And you guys know that from these numbers. We're in a seller's market. So although you will hear on the news that we're in a buyer's market and all of that, We are definitely in a seller's market overall in Orange County. Okay. Now you have to go hyper local because maybe in your specific neighborhood or pocket, you might be in a buyer's market or you might be in a normal market, right? You got to pull those numbers in order to know. All right, average days on market, 5.7% increase over last month. Last month we were at 35 days on market. Currently we're at 37 days on market. And then last year it's a 33.3% increase because last year we were at 24 days on market. Currently 32 days on market. So although you're still in the seller's market, you are seeing increased days on market. Why? Because you're seeing increased inventory, right? It's all going to flow together at the end of the day. Okay. Sold versus original list price, no change over last month. We're at 96% of list price, a 1% decrease over last year. Last year, sellers were receiving 98% of list price. Currently, they're receiving 97% of list price, which again, upper 90s, that they're happy, right? All right, Riverside County, moving right along. For sale properties, oh, no change over last month. That's funny. I don't think I've ever seen for sale properties not change over last month. Same amount. All right. A 12.2% increase over last year, however. So again, we are still seeing that uh, uh, we are still seeing a rise in inventory across all counties, right? Anywhere between, I think 12.2% is the lowest that I've seen so far. Okay. Sold properties down 1.8% as compared to last month and down 3.8% as compared to last year. Okay. So in Riverside County, we actually are seeing the most amount of difference over last year in terms of closings. Okay. 3.8%. Because as you guys saw in Orange County and LA County, what we're about 1.5 and below, right? In here in Riverside County, we're down almost 4%. Okay. Pendants are up 7.2% as compared to last month and down 1.1% as compared to last year. Okay. New listing inventory is up 0.4% over last month. Very, very small. And up 3.5% over last year. So again, we are seeing increases in our new listing fresh inventory coming on the market as compared to last year. It's not much, but it is in the green, which is exactly where we want it to be. Okay. Average active price is down 0.1%. Again, very small, right? We went from 822,000 to 821,000, right? Very small. Overall, a 1.7% decrease as compared to last year. So just a very small decrease in our average active price. Sellers are on average in Riverside County are asking 1.7% less than they did last year. Average sold price is up 1.3% over last month and up 1.6% over last year. So in Riverside County, unlike the other counties, we're seeing even a tighter squeeze, right? Riverside County, the appreciation is only 1.6% as compared to 4 or 5 and 6 in LA County, right? In Orange County. So a little bit different, a little more of a squeeze, which we actually expect, right? When you start going farther out versus your inner cities, your cities that are more in demand, right? The farther you go out, the tighter the squeeze typically. All right, months of inventory. Months of inventory is up 5.3% over last month. Last month we were at 3.8%. I'm sorry, we were at 3.8 months of inventory. Currently, 4 months of inventory, right? So as it sits right now, if you were to look at this month in a silo just by itself, we actually are sitting at the door of a normal market in Riverside County. Okay. However, overall, when we look at the conditions overall, we're 16.3% higher than we were last month. Last year. Last year, we were at 3.1 months of inventory. Currently, we're sitting at 3.6 months of inventory. Okay. Not quite there yet in terms of a normal market, but definitely knocking at the door of a normal market. Okay. So average days on market, no change over last month. We're at 51 days on market. A 24.4% increase over last year. Last year, we were sitting at 41 days on market, currently 51 days on market. Okay. And sold versus original list price, we're at 22.9% decrease over last month. Last month, we were at 96% of list price, currently 74% of list price. And I keep telling you guys I need to look into this because something is causing this anomaly. This is weird. Uh-oh. A 3.1% decrease over last year. Last year, we were at 97% of list price, currently 94% of list price. So sellers are receiving currently 94% of their list price. My guess is that they're receiving higher than that because of this anomaly right here that is probably factoring into this number. Our monthly number factors into our annual number. And I know for a fact that this is incorrect. Like sellers aren't receiving 74% of their list price. It would be an uproar, right? It would be an uproar. It'd be something we'd be hearing about. All right, San Bernardino County. Let's go into that. For sale properties is down 4.4% as compared to last month, but up 15.4% as compared to last year. So in San Bernardino County, we have more inventory on the market than we did last year, which is a great sign, right? We want the inventory there. The buyers will show up, especially as these interest rates continue to go down. Sold properties are up 1.4% over last month and down 1.8% as compared to last year. So there, San Bernardino County is even better than Riverside County. Riverside County solds were down even a little bit higher, but Riverside County were down 1.8%. Pendants are up 1.5% as compared to last month and down 0.1% as compared to last year. Uh-oh. New listing inventory is down 10.5% as compared to last month and up 6.7% over last year. So that's a good sign. We've got some fresh inventory on the market as compared to last year. Average active price is down 0.6% as compared to last month and down 0.5% over last year. So on average, sellers are asking 0.5% less than they did last year, right? Just a small amount less. However, they're receiving 3.7% higher than they did last year, which is a good sign for sellers. They're getting a higher amount of appreciation than they did last year to the tune of 3.7% in San Bernardino County. Now, again, we got to get hyper local, right? Because in some areas in San Bernardino County, I'm pretty sure they're receiving more than that. And in some areas, they're receiving less than that, right? So you got to get hyper local when you're doing your own numbers to know what your sellers numbers really are, or from the buyer's perspective, how things are really going and how you should be advising them on how to make their offer, right? Because all that matters. Okay. All right. Months of inventory has gone down 2.3% over last month. Last month, we were at 4.3 months of inventory. Currently, we're at 4.2 months of inventory. Not a big change at all, right? Now, last year, it's an 18.8% increase over last year because last year we were at 3.7 months of inventory. Currently, 4.4 months of inventory. What does that mean? That means in San Bernardino County, you guys, we are in a normal market. Okay. That means longer days on market. That means you got to keep in touch with their sellers. That means you got to keep them updated weekly, right? You got to be asking for those price reductions, right? You got to expect that the property is going to stay on the market a little bit longer because there's more inventory to choose from, and buyers are going to be able to choose from more. And that means your property needs to be, if you're selling it as is, you got to price it right. If you're not selling it as is and you're going to spruce it up for the wow factor, right? So that when buyers walk in, they're wowed and they really want to buy your property, right? It's got to stand out among the competition. How are you doing that? Okay. All right. Average days on market, no change. Over last month, we're at 49 days on market, a 23.7% increase over last year. So last year, we were at 38 days on market, currently 47 days on market. Remember, if you have more competition, more inventory, more days on market, that's the way it works, right? Sold versus original list price, again, There's something in this number that's causing this to be like this. There's no way sellers are receiving 48% of their list price, right? They would have pitchforks and what are them little things like fire things, like in Shrek, that it would not work. So there's some numbers in here that cause this number to be 48% of list price. Okay, that it's got to be some mistake that happened in the data. So last year in San Bernardino County, sellers were receiving 98% of their list price. Currently, it says we're receiving 88%, which more than likely means we're receiving, without this anomaly here, probably receiving more like 97%, 96% of list price. Okay. All right, that is it for our market update, for the official market update, all the numbers. Let's get in to our upcoming events. Oh, let's see if we can reload it. There we go. All right. So today, guys, we've got group coaching at 12 o'clock. Diana will be here. So we've got group coaching with Diana at 12 o'clock. All righty. And that is on Zoom and in-house. We prefer you be in-house, right? Because it is just better. It is just better when you're in-house. The energy is better, the synergy is better. Okay. So if you can join us, all right. What's going on? I'm going to stop my share just for a second, guys, because I'm going to see if I can fix this. Let me see if I can fix this. All right. Hopefully that fixed it. All right. So participants, yes. So we also have broker hour, you guys. Ed is back. So Ed is back Wednesdays and Thursdays. He will be on Zoom. He will be giving us the latest on our contracts, on our disclosures, on any changes that happen that we need to be aware of. As professionals, that's a part of our job, is to be up to date on what's going on in our industry. And Ed is here to keep us up to date. Okay. So broker hour with Ed, 10 o'clock on Wednesday and Thursday on Zoom. And then Dial for Dollars is back on Thursday at 2 p.m. That's in-house, not on Zoom. Victor is actually amazing, you guys. He teaches us how to go out there and lead generate. And he gives you homework. And if you do your homework, you can come back to class. If you don't do your homework, I'm just trying to tell you, he's very strict on that. You got to take action, right? It's wonderful to learn. It's wonderful to learn, but you've got to implement, right? You've got to take the action. The action is what's actually going to get you into production, right? Not just learning it. Learning it is not going to get you into production. Implementation, execution gets you into production. All right. And then on Friday, we have a lunch and learn with Jorge Mesa and Anthony Zamora, our title company. It's a lunch and learn, and it's on AI. So come and learn. If you guys attended my class on AI, which is the intro to AI, this is going to go into a little bit more details with AI. So AI, you guys, is here to help us to be more efficient. It is here to help us so that we can stop doing some of the activities that are repetitive in nature that we don't want to do anyway. And AI can help us to take that over. Okay, so Anthony and Jorge will be here to provide us with that education. It's going to be a great class. He taught this at the Downey Association of Realtors. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So be ready to attend this class on Friday, October 3rd, here in house at 11. Okay. Put on your calendars our trunk or treat. It's actually October 30th. I'm so sorry. I keep putting this October 30th. Okay. October 30th is our actual trunk or treat. And then we do have Ignite After Dark. So those of you who are new and you want to take Ignite, this is an awesome opportunity for you to take Ignite. Ignite is our flagship sales training for new agents. It takes you from A to Z. So you can hop in at any time. They're not built on each other. The training is not built on each other. The segments stand alone. So you can definitely hop in and partake. Then we've got the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast. The actual new one is on the shift, and it is with James Shaw. James Shaw is an amazing agent. He's been a team leader. He's been all over the Keller Williams network in terms of his roles. And he's teaching about the shift and how to manage your business during the shift. Okay. And that's what we're experiencing right now. So it's a very relevant segment, podcast. It's very relevant for right now. I would definitely take a listen. I was listening to it this morning on my way in. I didn't finish it. But so far, so good. It was really good. And he's just really talking about how we need to structure our business. But the first thing he said is Gary Keller teaches us that it doesn't really matter about the market. It matters about our mindset and our actions. And that's what he said first. Now, with that said, I'm going to teach you some tactics that work in a shift, right? However, you got to understand that no matter the market, there's people out there killing it right now. Why are they killing it and you're not, right? You got to ask yourself that question. And then you got to go out and you've got to take action, okay? Remember, we are a part of the Airbnb referral network now. So you guys can earn referral fees off Airbnb if your clients actually put their properties on Airbnb and they list you as the person who referred them. You can earn referral fees just like you do if you referred a deal out to another agent in another area. But you've got to be signed up. It's MREANotes.com/Airbnb. Okay, make sure you signed up, and you get information. You get what do they call it? You get statistics and things like that about different areas. Okay, you get market information, so it's really cool. All right, guys. So this article was talking about the government shutdown, and it seems likely, and will it affect real estate? They said that they do not believe that this article was talking about that. They don't believe that, the government shutdown is going to immediately affect home sales. However, whenever there's uncertainty, right? Whenever there's uncertainty, buyers tend to get skittish. They tend to get skeptical. They tend to back away. And so when there's something that people equate to the housing market, there could be some blowback on buyer demand, just simply because the federal government is talking about shutting down. We won't know. And that's really what this article said, is we really won't know if it's going to affect us. We are looking more so towards the interest rates affecting us. That's really what's affecting us right now, is the higher interest rates. However, the interest rates have been coming down. Okay. And so we really have to be watching that. The next article is talking about the fact that we really wanted to see a fall rally, right? October, November, we wanted to see that fall rally. And really what we're seeing is that it's a little bit slower still than what we anticipated, okay? So we are still seeing that sales are still a little bit slower than anticipated. So existing home sales dropped 0.2% in August compared to July, but we're up 1.8% year over year. Okay, so they actually dropped from July to August. However, year over year, it was up 1.8%. And remember, this is a national number. What I'm showing you in our numbers is actual numbers compared in that county, right? So we're seeing stuff that's very relevant to us. This number is actually a national number. Okay, but the good news is there's been several weeks of declines in the mortgage rates. Okay. Now they did increase slightly last week or actually the week before last, they increased slightly because when the Fed cut the rate, right, 0.25%, they did cut the rate 0.25%. We had already been on a 7-week decline in interest rates. Okay. And so when they cut the rate, the market had already baked in the rate cut. Okay. So they already anticipated this rate cut. So it didn't go down even further. It actually ticked up. Okay. So we'll see what's going to continue to happen. We do know the Fed meets 2 additional times. And they had mentioned that we were going to see 2 additional rate cuts, right? However, we will see the Fed shutting down, the job rates. All these things go into consideration. So we've got to see what's going to actually happen at the end of the day. And if the Fed is actually going to actually cut the rates, and we'll see that. And how that's going to impact us. And we're going to see if rates continue to go up or down. We've got to keep a close eye on this. Right now, they're level. Right. So like I got a rate quote for my client doing an FHA at 6.125. Okay. 6.125. Private banking, like Chase, or one of the direct lenders like Wells Fargo or somebody like that, I'm being told right now is in the upper 5s. Okay. So it could be a little bit different, but 6.125 Downey Capital, which is actually a good rate. Okay, which is actually a good rate. We are seeing mortgage applications up, which means that again, mortgage applications go into people getting into escrow, escrows go into people closing, right? That's what we want to see. All right. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, I know you guys heard about this. That Compass actually bought out Anywhere or is in a deal with Anywhere. So just so you guys know, because we had a long talk about this on my leadership call. The reality is that deal is not closed. They have not acquired Anywhere yet. Okay. And that may not take place until next year. Okay. So like Coldwell Banker, being taken over by Compass and all of that, just so you guys know, that deal is still on the pending side of things, right? Because it has to be approved, right? So it is not approved yet. Anytime 2 competing companies merge, that has to be approved. And so the DOJ has to take a look at that. The Federal Trade Commission has to take a look at that. There's people that are involved at the government level that have to take a look at that merger, and they have to approve it. They are going to request of them a second, like a second questionnaire, if you will, and that requires them to give them more information. So just want you guys to know, there's a lot of uncertainty about that whole merger, but just so you guys know, that hasn't been set in stone. It will not be set in stone more than likely until mid to late 2026. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? I'm going to stop my share and I'm actually going to run over to my other slide and see if I can't find that slide that I was actually telling you guys about. But if you guys have any questions, you guys feel free to go for it. Hang on, I got it now. Show it to you guys real quick. So we were talking. So sold, yeah. See, sold in LA County was 1 point. Am I sharing it with you guys? No, I'm sorry. Hang on. There we are. So you guys see, sold in LA County is down 1.2%. Remember, in this week, it's down 1%. So we did make up a little bit of ground. Okay, in LA County on closings. Okay. Where did it go? Are you guys seeing the chart now?
Yes.
Santiago? Okay, thank you. All right, so let's go to LA, Orange County. Orange County, it's down 2.3%. I think it actually went down because it was down 2%, right? Yeah, so it actually went down. That's awesome. Okay. So we're moving in the right direction. We did make up a little bit of ground. Riverside County is down 3.8%. That was the same. This month it was still 3.8%. Might have been 3.6. Might have had a little bit. And let's go to San Bernardino County. 2.3%. San Bernardino County was 2%, down 2%. So we actually are having more closings. We are seeing more closings, I believe, in 3 out of the 4 counties, you guys. So that's a good sign. Okay, we are seeing more closings. So again, you guys, if you guys have questions, if you want to use this data, we do send this out to you in an email with the slides, with the recording. But more importantly, it shouldn't be my voice. It should be your voice giving this information to your clients, right? And making sure that your clients are in the know and that you guys are the one feeding them the data. And you guys can get hyper local with this by using the MLS and all the reporting tools that we have on the MLS, and you guys giving your clients even more of a personal view of what's going on for themselves. All right. So thank you guys. Have an amazing week. Have a productive week. All right. Get out there and get after it. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.